Hi everyone, welcome to the third part of this dashboard tutorial. So today we're going to be creating this particular dashboard we had actually been working on before now. So if you have not watched video number 1, please go ahead and do that. So 1 and 2 is actually right there on the playlist. Go ahead and take a look at that. So we have our sales drop by 15.4% between January and between March and February. Now I want to check out February and January being compared together. We have 0.4% upward and stuff like that. So now amazing, right? So go ahead and actually take a look at that. So we're not going to be dwelling much on this. Instead, we want to open the workbook we're about to use to start the creation. So this YouTube lesson is an ideal workbook for that. So we're going to be having a little error right now. Let's see what the error is all about. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. So if you have this workbook opened without the other workbook that we have connected to this to get data from, this is the kind of error you're going to have. So if you have not downloaded this, go ahead and do that. So I'm going to hit update. And right here, I'm going to hit continue. So download it, you definitely understand what I'm talking about. So right now, we need to take the second workbook that we're going to be using to get it created on. Despite that, we're not going to be pulling data right here from it. So we just want the data to be some kind of sync. So this is the workbook I'm talking about. So we have actually pulled data from here in the first video. Now you can see what we have right here: products, locations, customers, and salespeople. Those are where we have all those records in. So we try as much as we could to actually get the record combined to create this particular dynamic dashboard. So here we have the records. Every record we have right there, we have the most important part of it being pulled right in here. The video number 1 will help you to do that, and video number 2 will help you to create some part of the analysis we have actually done in the previous video. So right now, going back to this particular workbook right now, we are going to start to do the normal creation. So why are we here? So let's start to do the needful. The first we're going to be doing now is just to go to analysis or to the right here. So this is what we have: plain workbook, nothing is in it. So I'm just going to go to my data part right in here. So once I've actually hit my data part, click anywhere from the data. We want to create pivot table, and after pivot table, we are going to be mixing formula or function to actually get a very dynamic dashboard created. So clicking on existing worksheet right here is going to actually take us to this particular worksheet we have open, which is where existing worksheet right on it. So here you go, and I'm going to go right here and click on OK. Now we have our pivot table created for us. So that is beautiful. So we have to go right ahead and actually pull the columns we want to actually use right on this work. So now we're going to be needing our profits, we're going to be needing our revenue, our cost of goods sold, and the quantity would be needed. So if we can see now, we have all of them here. Now you can come up here, you have all of them as well right in here. The next thing we want to actually get is that, like, how many transactions do we have in every city, in every by every sales rep and stuff like that, all together. So how do we do that? Pull any column down to this particular level right here. So it's going to default itself towards to count, and that is exactly what we really want to see. Beautiful. So we've gotten something like this. So there is one thing I always do, because I hate to have some kind of long label and stuff like that. So I want to make it some kind of readable. So right now I'm going to say Control H. And once I do Control H, I go down, I find my Control H right here, which says find and replace. I'm going to say sum of. So sum of is going to be replaced with nothing. So now if you look at it, the sum of we have right here is going to be getting off right now. Clicking on replace all, I have it been replaced. I'm going to close it. I'm going to have this closed and all that. So now this is what we have left. So I'm just going to double click on it, and I'm going to have this. I'm going to type in as transaction. So hit enter. We have this beautifully. So now we can actually have to work with this. The next thing I'm going to do right now is just that I want to have some kind of $sign around these ones right here. So I'm going to actually make sure I go with what I go, just right click on it and actually go forward, go for I'm going to be locating where I have my number format in. So I have my number format right there. So we just have to go to currency. The kind of currency sign I want to actually use is actually $sign and all of that. So now I'm going to hit OK. So there we have it. We have this, but it's not actually applicable to all of it. So I'm just going to go to the top level right here. I'm going to go to the home. So now double click on this, use it as much as you could before you release it back clicking on escape is gone, and you can double click on this, it will have it expanded and filled to screen, and you'll be able to see the figure very much. So now we can actually go ahead again and actually get to actually apply this, but it is not always advisable to apply from here, because one thing is this: if you change any of the value, it's not going to be applicable to it. So I prefer actually coming right here, right click to use directly from here. We format it from here. So just go to number and actually take off the extra decimal and actually some kind of add a separator. Go right here and you have it, and it is better. So you can actually make sure you copy the same formatting for this one as well. So I'm just going to go here and go right on this particular page, take it and actually have it right here. So beautiful, we have something similar, right? Now we're almost there, but not really there as we wish. So I'm just going to copy the whole pivot table right away from here. I'm going to have to paste it right in here. So once I've pasted that, I'm just going to go right here and select everything we have right on it, because I don't want anything to be on it. So once I have it some kind of selected, I'm going to show you what we're going to have right there. So right now we want to make our cities some kind of very dynamic. So every single time we select a city that we actually make cells on, I want it to actually come out dynamically. But sometime every single time I create some kind of pivot table, I want my back end to be some kind of very crispy, so that whoever is actually coming to use the report will definitely understand what we have done to actually get this report created. So go to the top level right here and actually go on design. So from design, we want to go to what? We want to go to this particular report layout. I'm going to change it to tabular form. And if I come to tabular form now, instead of something else, now we are now seeing city. So we can now tell what we are actually showing right here. So right here, I'm just going to actually type on the city name. So I'm going to say cities. So we're going to be using count A to count how many cities do we sell to over time. And it's very simple. So once we place filter, it's just going to filter down to the filter we have just got some kind of placed on it. So now this is what we have. So I'm going to say I to I. I'm going to have it close and -1. Hit OK. We have 75 instead of 76. So we've taken the header off. So one thing you have to be always careful about is actually this particular empty cells right here. Don't type anything on it. So if I have something typed here now, you can see it's actually adding up, which is very awkward. So I'm just going to have them away from here and have the right number. So now we have this. It is time for we to set for our visualization right on the dashboard area. So are you set for it now? So there is something I'm not going to be some kind of repeating every single time, like this part right here. You can do it. It's something you can just take some kind of shape or some kind of go right to the top level right here. You can go to what? Go to insert, and once you hit on insert, you can see where you can have your text. So you can pick any of this and actually type whatever you want to type on it. So now for we to actually get some kind of speedy tutorial, I want to actually have to paste this right here and actually make the formatting pretty snappy. So now we have something like this. I'm going to situate it right in here. So beautiful. The next thing I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to have to copy this away from here. I'm going to copy it and have it right here. Just move it a little bit right in here. So now that we've done this, we can actually find where we can actually input this cursor and actually pick the value we want from here. So we just have to go to the top level, hit on view, and from view, we want to actually turn on the formula bar. Beautiful. We have the formula bar right here right now. We can actually go ahead and use the formula bar. Okay, straight away, what we want to have here is the total transaction. So we just want to go back. I'm going to hit on my total transaction. Can you see that? This is what it is. So here is my total transactions. You want to have it right there. I'm going to hit enter. There I have it. So now we need to actually transform this into what we really wanted. I'm going to actually click and go to home. From home, I'm going to put this on 48. So go down all the way to 48 and I'm going to have it on 48. So we're not there yet. So we go to 48. So we should be good about it. So now we just have to change the color to something like white. And I'm going to have to make sure I increase it so we have the whole figure to show up. So now this is what it is. So the next I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to have to duplicate this and move it this way. I'm going to have to go down to the next one and I'm going to bring in my total cities that we sell to. Don't worry, once we place filter, you will definitely understand what I'm talking about. So now we just have to make sure we put this one on 50 something. It's more going to be some kind of up than the other one. So 54 is going to be cool and I'm going to have to give it the same color and all that. So now you can see what we have right in here. So we are not too cool with what we have here right now. The next we're going to be doing now is to make sure we format it rightly the way it should be. I'm going to actually take it to the top level a little bit. Something like this would be cool. I'm going to hold on my control we're going to actually highlight all of them, go down to the top level right here and locate where we have our format and click on what? Click on this particular align and just click on align top. That is beautiful. So we have it aligned equally the way it should be right now. So the next we're going to be having now is to have some label that shows transaction and what? And one that shows some kind of series. Now this is what we have right now. So we might want to make it stand out, and we have to do some little stuff to get it some kind of being stand out from the card and stuff like that. So go to format, and once we have actually clicked on format, just actually make sure you are seeing what you want to format. Just move it this way and go to what you have to go to this particular effect right here and go to shadow part of the effect and click on this particular shadow part right here and actually try as much as you could. Try any of this particular shadow right on it and see what it is that you have gotten. So if I release my cursor right now, it's more stand out, but actually giving you this full screen right now, you see how it's some kind of standout from the card itself. So now copying the format right from here down to this particular 7th something. So I'm going to copy it. I'm going to come right here and actually give it, and you see what I've gotten right here. So now that's what I'm talking about. You might not see how it is right now, but if you start to create this on your own, you will definitely see that, okay, this is adding up. So we've done something like this. Let's see the next level we're going to actually be taking. The next thing is for me to show you how I created this particular thing you're seeing right here right now, how I got it created. So I'm just going to show you quickly, and we have to be done with that. So go to insert, and once you hit on insert, hit on this particular one right here, hit on the shape level and take the circle. So once you have actually taken the circle, just make sure you hold on your shift key right on your keyboard and actually make sure you draw a little circle right here and actually release it. So now we have something little as this. So once we've just gotten this done, the next thing we're going to be doing now is just to right click and make sure we format this particular circle we have right here. So once we have formatted to the kind of color with, so Ctrl Z will help us get in big. So now we need to make sure we aim at this before we actually make a move. So now we can move. So we can now click on the shape we have just round shape we've just gotten right here and actually make sure we take off what? We take off the some kind of outline. So we want to go on the fill color. I want to actually look for the color we want to have for it, and the color is not any other color but this color right here. So once we've gotten this color down, so I'm just going to release my cursor and place back my cursor on it and actually Ctrl D. I have it duplicated. Take my color off my cursor off it and actually make sure I move it down to this end. So I can now duplicate it again, and I'm going to have to take my cursor away from it and actually move it down to this end as well. So once I have done that, there is one thing I actually want to do right now to make it very easy for me to actually copy, because if I want to actually make sure I highlight all of them both right now, it might be some kind of difficult and sometimes it is not. So now it's quickly some kind of being highlighted and all that. So now I'm going to go to align and make sure I align them to the top level. After we have done this alignment, I'm just going to go ahead and say group. I'm going to have it grouped and stuff like that. So I have it grouped, I have something like this, and I can actually go ahead and make it duplicated. So I'm going to have it duplicated and make sure it's some kind of this way and all that. So now we've gotten these two duplicates. We have to hold the control and make sure we go back to the top level again and have it grouped. So I'm going to group it again, have it grouped. So now that I have it grouped, I'm just going to have to make sure I have it duplicated again and make sure I bring one of it right here and make sure it's setting well. And now we can change the color of this one to what we really wanted. So change the color to something else. So come right here and look for where the color is going to be like. So we're going to have to hit on the color. So we are hit on the solid color right here. And once we hit on the solid color, we just want to go to a color that is some kind of very nice on it. So now you can see the color we have right here. And the next one we're going to be doing now is to have it duplicated. And actually for this last time, we want to actually have it right here. And now we want to use some kind of more darker color than the previous one we've actually used. So go to solid and actually leave the color we have right here to this particular color. This one is more darker. Now you can see how we just got this created. Beautiful. So now we don't need it. I just want to show you how we can actually get that created. Should you want to go ahead and create it, I don't want to leave any stone unturned. So beautifully, you have understood what I have done to get this kind of sign right here. Okay, here we go. We have gotten the quantity, the cost of goods sold, and the revenue right here. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is just for me to make sure I hold my control, keep highlighting this aspect here. So make sure we select this right now, highlight this, and actually have this particular sign plus sign up and move it down to the top level. I'm gonna actually move it away from here a little bit, make sure it's turned out to the top level. So now I can actually have this. So once I've gotten this right here, so what am I gonna do? We just have to make sure we bring our value down to this particular one. We have duplicated to the top. Always know that beautiful dashboard has to do with shapes, how you combine your shape to make the dashboard very, very beautiful. That is why I always have time to create it. Sometimes you might be seeing I'm not making any posts and all of that. I want to make sure I have something very, very interesting and something new for you guys. So now we go back to the analysis, and first of all, we want to know what we're going to be taking right here. So we're going to be taking the quantity. So for the quantity, we just want to go back here, and we just have to make sure we go for the quantity right in here. So here we have the quantity. I'm going to have it right on it. So now we have the quantity right here. So now we have gotten all the values right here. It is time for we to actually some kind of format the values you have right in here. You can actually go ahead and actually hit on the your control key and highlight all of them at once and format them all at once. So go to the top level right here. Make sure you still use the same color. I'm gonna go for this kind of about 36 would be cool for me. Okay, 36. Go for 36, and we're gonna change this particular one to this particular color right here. And now here we go. If we go out for a full screen right now, you can see what we have is very, very interesting, and it's actually stands very well right on our dashboard. So this is what it is. So we are almost about to fill it up, all of that. So the next video we're going to be creating right now is those one we have right here. Let me just take you to the main dashboard we are replicating. So if you look at what we have right here right now, you can see what we have here is some kind of standout. So now I'm going to be creating it from the scratch to show you how I got it the way it is right now. So let's go ahead and actually get to do that. So we're going to hit back to the workbook. Here we go. This is the workbook, and now we always use shape to get everything we are doing done. So I'm going to go ahead and actually click on shape and click on the round shape right here. So I'm going to hold on my shift key. So just draw a circle just like this. I think I'm cool with this right now. So once I have drew a circle down this way, I'm going to actually make sure I zoom so that you can see what I'm doing. So we have to right click and actually get to see what kind of color we want to have for it. So we can now go ahead and actually right click on it and go to format shape. And once we actually bring on our format shape, so we have to actually make sure we change the shape color to the kind of color we really want to use for it. So I'm just going to go for the line. I'm going to say no line right here. So I've taken off the line. So I'm going to go for the fill right now. For the fill, I want to use gradient fill. So click on the gradient fill right here. I will go all the way down. And for that, so I have already a gradient fill right on it. So I want to actually show you how we got in right here. So we might see we have like, when we open it for the first time, we're going to have many stops right on it. And these many stops will take different colors, so which we have to learn how to do from the scratch. If you have it opened and found something like this as bright as this white color, so I just have to place the cursor right here and remove those stops away from here. And like, okay, I'm actually adding more stops, so I'm going to remove all those stops from here. So I'm going to be having 2 stops only. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is just to make sure I come down to the color area and change this one into this particular color that I really wanted. So now sometime we might not have it this way, we might have it something like this. So we have to change the direction of our color. So I just want to go and actually pick this direction right here and go for this one, click on it, and actually have to come back here and make sure you select the color you want to have for it. I want to have this color. So that was how I got that one right in there. So we can actually go ahead now and close it. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is this. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to come right here and have it duplicated into 2. So duplicate this right. So once I have it duplicated, I'm going to actually right click, go to format again, and I'm going to come right here and I'm going to say no fill. If I say no fill, the shape cannot give us anything because already we have no fill right on this. I'm going to click on it right now. We're going to be having fill right on this one. I'm going to be making some kind of a little bit thicker, just like this. I think I'm really cool with what I have right now. And I have to change the color to something like this. So we have something like this. So I'm going to have to some kind of, give it some kind of, I'll put it up a little bit. So once I have it opened, Ctrl Z will help me to make sure it's it right. So we have to click on it and have it open. I'm going to bring it in right here. And I'm going to make sure it's actually in the middle of it. Hold them together and actually make sure you cause them to be in the middle. So I'm going to say middle. I'm going to click back again. I'm going to say center. So let's go back and look at what we have done. So now it's working so well. So what if I right click on it right now and make sure I have some kind of group together? That is going to be beautiful. I have it grouped. That is nice. So it is working for me, but if not still some kind of saturated, I can actually make sure I move it around until I make sure I have something I really wanted. So might be cool with this a little bit. So move it up. So once I'm done doing this formatting, I might not get perfect formatting right now. I'm going to have to duplicate this, have duplicated again and again. So I have 4 of it. So number 1 is actually for some kind of quarter 1, quarter 2, and quarter 3 till we have our 4 quarters. So we have to make sure we bring it this way and we select and actually make sure we perfect it the way it should be actually sitting. I'm gonna move this one this way and actually move this one this way. So now we have to make sure we distribute them vertically and horizontally and make sure they align equally the way it should be. Go back to the top level and actually work with that. So now I'm going to say top. After being top, and actually I'm going to say horizontally, I'm going to go back again and select vertically. So let's just go and see what we have. So now beautifully we have something like this. So we're almost there. Give it some kind of zoom out of that. So now we have to go ahead and actually make it some kind of a little bit smaller. We can do that. So hold your shift key and actually tap on it and make it some kind of smaller. So you make it smaller if you really want that to be some kind of being done. Okay, behind the scene, I've just gotten this done just to make sure we mirror our time. We have quarter 1 down to quarter 4. We just have it right here being typed and actually make sure we actually surround them with very nice color and all of that. This is just some kind of shape. Now, if you go right here right now, like if you go here, you can actually find the shape I've actually used for it. That here is the shape, all of that. Pick this shape and you're gonna actually use it. So I always tell you, if you're actually very active on my channel, you will definitely know how to do all this. So let's see what we can do next. Okay, let us go and create a quarterly analysis and see what it is that we can do to have it visualized. So remember, we have a date column right here, which we had used in the previous video, and already we had actually breaking it down by months, year, and quarter and stuff like that. I'm gonna drop in my quarter right here and see what it is that I have. So I have this, and I want to analyze this by the revenue. So I have to go and locate where I have my revenue in. So I'm gonna have to locate the revenue. So I have the revenue. So if we go back right now to the dashboard area, so we have this right here. So we have quarterly revenue right here, all quarterly revenue. I want to show it both on the percentage and as well on the value. That is what we want to actually show. Go back to it again. I'm going to actually make sure I bring it down right to this level. So click on it and go back again and drop the revenue back down right here. And what we want to do right now is just to make sure we come right here. I always told you to make sure the row label, we take it off by actually going to the top level and hitting on the design aspect here and go to the grand total, because I don't need the grand total right now. I'm going to actually have to turn off the grand total, go to report layout and show it is particular quarter at the top level right here. So now we've gotten this. We want to show this as a percentage of grand total. So I'm just going to go to the value right here and I'm going to show it as percentage of column total or grand total whatsoever. Now here we go. We have the percentage right on it. But what if we don't want to show the two decimal point and all of that? So how do we do this right now? We can always actually have it done by right clicking on this one right here. I'm going to go to what format number on this particular aspect, and here we go. Just one decimal is what I really wanted. If I go all the way down, I'm going to have it right on it. So this is exactly what it is. So we've just gotten this one. All we need to do for this one is actually have it on some kind of dollar sign and all that. So we really want to do that quickly. And I can actually scroll to this level, go to the top and have this one clicked and copy it from here, go to home and double click on this and actually go all the way down to where we have that other analysis. Now if we go to the top level right here, we can come and have it in here. So to have it selected from our cursor, just press on escape on your computer, all of that. So you can remove this you can remove this particular show value, sum of revenue and stuff like that. Control H, we have the previous one we had used, so just go and say replace all, and that is beautiful. So we can actually close it and close everything and go. We are all fine from here. So we don't still have it. We just have to go and make sure we have it on all of them. So click on it and here we go, we have it rightly. So it is time to get it set up for visualization right now. So what do? We have to go to our dashboard. Yes, of course, we have to visit our dashboard to have it visual nicely. So we have quarter 1 is actually on N4, quarter 2 is on N5, N6 is carrying quarter 3, and okay, so quarter 1 is on N4, and N8 is on quarter sorry, N4 is on quarter 7. So because we have this one, I'm going to be coming here for just once, and I'm not going to come back here again. I will not treat it the way it should be. You should understand why we are doing what we are doing once we get here. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to actually have to copy this away from here. Just move it down to this level. I'm going to have it down right here. So what am I supposed to do? I'm just supposed to go right to this level right here. Go right on this and go back here and actually pick this one. That is the what? That is the revenue value. So we have the value right in here now. So what do we need to do to actually have it the way it should be? I'm just going to have to make sure I duplicate it and actually have it for this one as well right here. Okay, right now we have them and they are on equal value. So we have to change the narration right here. So now the first one is right, the second one is not right. So what we need to do is just to change the number from here, from 4 to 5. We hit enter. Now if we go, we have different value. So we have to change them from 4 to 6. We're going to be having different value. And we just go back again and change this one from what? From 4 to 7. The 7 is the last number, as I've said earlier. So we want to change that one to 7. So we're going to change it to 7 and we hit enter. We have that. So what are we supposed to do? We have to make sure we hold control and actually make sure we have all of them selected. So go down to this top level right here and actually change the value that is actually coming right on that. So now we have the value change. You can make it bold and go ahead and look at the value you have actually changed and give it a full screen to see if you are very much satisfied with what you have. If not, you can actually bump it up a little bit to see that is actually coming out the way it should be. So I can actually make it smaller a little bit, all of that. So now we can move it down this way to make sure what you have is actually right on the dashboard. So take it up a little bit. And now once you have done this, don't deselect it. All you have to do is just to make sure you hold on your control and just make sure you drag it all the way down. So what am I supposed to do now? We just need to go, we don't need to go back to the back end from here. All we have to do is just to make sure we change this particular N here to 04. So I'm going to change it to what? To 04. And now we have the value of what? Of the percentage right on it. Can you see that? 04. And here we're going to change this to 05. That was what I showed you before we left that particular part of the workbook. So now 05 here. So if we go back right now, it has changed to the right percentage value. Okay, right now here we go. We have all of them the way it should be. So we just have to change the color of the percentage we have right there. So I want to have this something like this, some calm color like that. So have it on bold, and here we go. We have something like this. So if we go back on the full screen, we're gonna be having something nicely just like what we have right here. But right now the filters we have in here now is not really working on it. So the weekly filter and the monthly filter should be what we really want to work right on it. So how do we do that? So we can go back and actually connect filter down to this. So go make sure you click on the pivot table, go to analyze right here. Once you hit your analyze, you're going to see this particular filter connections. So click on it and let's see what filter we have available. So we have filter for month and for week. So when I click on filter for week and filter for year, not for month. So I'm just going to click on OK. Once we have done that, we can actually go back and ready to get it filtered. So if I select any filter right now from the weekdays, so you can see what I have right here. Everything is just some kind of being filtered as soon as I actually press any of it. So let us press 2021 right now. And if we click on 2029, we have the filter working rightly the way it should be. Beautiful. Awesome, right? So now we are almost done from here, but not really done from here right now because we still have to do some tiny things to get the work done the way it should be. The next step we want to go into right now is to create our top 5 profitable customers and how many percentage have they added to the overall profit whatsoever. So now how do we do that? So we can actually hop down right here, and now we just have to make sure we copy this one away from here that has filter, because we don't have to add a filter over and over again. I actually have it pasted right here. So now I'm just going to remove this particular fourth revenue or second revenue away from here, because that is where the percentage is. We don't want the percentage part right on it. So now we want to actually make sure we remove this particular one as well. We don't want it either. And now we just have to go to where we have our customers right in. So we just have to locate where we have the customers. So we should locate that. We have that. The customer names are here. So now we just have to drag it all the way down here. I need just the top 5 customers. So now for now, I can actually get this away from here I need just the top 5 customers right on this particular aspect. So what am I going to do? I'm going to actually go on filter, and when I actually click on filter, what do I want? I want the top 10, and I'm going to actually limit it to the top 5 right here. So we just have to make sure we click on the top 5, and once I have the top 5 right on it, so we need to actually create one more of it to actually get the kind of visual we really wanted from here. So I'm just going to actually have to paste this one right in here. Once I have it pasted, I'm going to have to remove what? I'm going to have to remove my I'm going to clear the filter away from here. This one has no filter, and if this one has no filter, guess what I'm going to do to have what I really wanted, the kind of analysis I really wanted right on this particular aspect here. So the kind of analysis I really wanted is actually this. I want to make sure I have it some kind of, I'm going to have to hide this one away from here. So I'm going to go right on this particular aspect now. I'm going to have the value of what? Have equal to, and actually click on sum. So hit on tab key and actually sum all this together, so we have this value. But before we actually start summing, we want to make sure that we have no grand total being turned on, which we don't really have, because if we're in the previous one we have no grand total, else the grand total is going to add up to what we have right here. And what we need to do right now, we're going to actually use this now to find the percentage of this particular one right here. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is just to come here and do the same thing and click on my sum. So which is going to be sum equal to sum. So make sure we see what we're doing right here. So the tab key and actually select the whole top 5 right here, and I can actually hit enter. Now I have this. It is time to create what? To create a percentage that they've added to the overall sales or revenue we have generated from them. So I'm going to be having my percentage right in here. So I'm going to say equal to this value right here. I'm going to divide it by this particular value we have for the overall revenue and the top 5 revenue we have right here. So if I hit enter, this is the huge value I'm going to have. So we have to convert this into what? We really have to convert it into a percentage. So go to what? Go to format cell, and once you hit the format cell, you're going to have this. So go to percentage, and you want to see it on one extra decimal. Now you click OK. You have 4.2% being added to the overall revenue, which is the top 5 people in our company, all the sales, the buyers in our company, and all that. So this is the first thing we need to do before we start to get to the next level. And the next thing we want to do right now, we just want to create some kind of chart that's going to actually have to help us represent this on our dashboard. So I hit on insert, and from insert I'm going to actually hit on this particular kind of chart right here. Okay, I'm going to hit on this particular part here. If you don't know what you're looking for, you can always come right here, and it's going to actually guess for you what is actually right for you. So I know what I'm looking for. Sometimes I don't need to actually come right here, but I just want to show you that feature. You need to use it. So now I'm going to actually go ahead and actually get it round to my dashboard environment. So we're going to make it smaller. So I'm going to take this off away from here. I don't need it. So right click on it and actually go to what? Go to hide, and we have it hidden, and clear this away from here. And I can actually decide to actually take this axis as well, and now we have something as crispy as what we have right now. So I can actually cut it away from here and go to what? Go to my dashboard and have it settled down on the dashboard environment in here. So we want to make it some kind of little bit, some kind of smaller. So to sit right, we have to really work on it. So we have to work on it to make sure it sits right here. So we have to work on it thoroughly. So we just have to duplicate it. Double click it. Once we have it double clicked, so we want to say no fill and no line. So we can actually go ahead and take this particular grid line off. So you can come right here and turn off the grid lines. So we have the grid lines being turned off, and that is beautiful. So we can actually make sure we format this into a nice color that's going to actually show the names of the customers that are actually making that particular purchase and stuff like that. So we have something like that. So right now we need to put make sure the value is right on it. If it's going to sit right, if it's not going to sit right, you might definitely need to leave it, and we can hover over it and get to see the value we have right on it. So the value sits right on it. So click on the value and go to the top level and have the value some kind of being given a very nice color that's going to actually stand out on our dashboard. We have something like this. So what is next for us? So we just have to go back to the analysis part right here, and once we actually right on it, so we just have to make sure we get this one cancelled right now, and actually make sure we have this highlighted. Once we have this highlighted, so we just want to actually go ahead and go to Control either Control A, Control 1, or you right click on it. You just go to Go to number format, and once you click click on number format, you want to actually have it on some kind of currency. And once the currency is being out, you just have to make sure you actually go ahead and click on OK and all that, so you have all this. So going back right to this particular dashboard area right now, what we have something like this. So let us actually make sure we give it a full screen and see what it is. So every single time I place the filter will definitely affect what I have right here. This is what it is. So now you can see how everything goes right on this channel. So we have not actually given filter for month right on it, so we can actually go ahead and actually give it its filter just on a month level and all that. So now this one is actually almost the same steps. I don't want to show you how I created that, but I'm going to show you the kind of chart I'm going to use to have it visualized. Or better still, I think you need to know how to actually get to do this with a speedy way without you having to do it from the scratch. All you have to do is just to make sure you come right here and actually highlight down to this particular aspect here. Once you have done that, Ctrl+C will help you to copy it and actually scroll down to this level. So once you have actually scrolled down to that way, if you try to place it right now, it's not going to be placed because you copy from the top level to copy the whole columns. So just cancel it up. Just say cancel and come right here and make sure you highlight a single column and actually go on Ctrl+V, and once you Ctrl+V, you have it pasted. So all you have to do right now is to change what you want to change right here and you are good to go. So right here what we want is the 3 profitable cities. So how do we visualize that? So go to show fields, and now we just have to make sure we select what? We select the customer name away from here. So now we want to go for the field of what? Of the cities. So we want to come right here and actually give it. That is exactly what we have. And we come right here and do the same thing again. We are actually on it. So we just want to go and actually select for the, we want to take this customers away. Once we have taken it away, we go for the series and we bring in the series right here, and we have this. So we can actually go ahead and close this now, and we have these numbers right here. And we want to just go ahead and actually make the same thing we had just done before, and going to give us exactly what we really want. So go to filter, and from filter top 10, and now we have the top 3 to be shown. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to have to show the top 3, and here we go. It's giving us purely based on what we have selected. So now it's dividing this to this to give us the percentage, and that is exactly what we really wanted. So now to get the kind of chart we want to get right now, there is no way we can get it from here. All I need to do is just to make sure I make a reference to this particular aspect here. Go click on OK, and actually go ahead and actually make sure you copy this one down to this end and actually copy it all the way down. So here we go. So I'm going to remove this extra one we have right here. So once I have it removed, I'm going to be good to go. So I'm going to have it removed. So right now I'm going to highlight this whole aspect here to get to create the kind of chart I really want to create for it. So now I'm going to hit on my insert, and from insert I am going to hit on this particular recommended chart, and from recommended chart I'm going to go to this particular all charts right here. Already I think it has some kind of suggested for me, and I think I'm cool with this kind of chart right here. So now beautiful, we have this chart, and this is the chart we want to use right on it. So we have something like this beautifully, and we just have to take it down to where we really want all of that. So now we just have to get that one away from here. I'm going to make it smaller. I'm going to make it some kind of go this way, all of that. So now we just have to cut it and actually go down to where we have our dash button. So have it pasted in here, all of that. So now we just have to make sure we have it aligned properly the way it should be, and actually sitting right on this area. So I'm going to take a little while to actually get it format. So go and actually zoom to see what it is that we have right here. If I don't click on it right now, what do I have? I have to actually make sure the surrounding of the fill, and as well the fill color is going to be turned out, all of that. So I have this, and I have to make sure I change it to this particular kind of color. So I can actually go ahead and actually go and actually get the formatting I have for the previous one. I don't know if it is to copy for every part of it, and I'm going to have it right here. I think it's okay, it's cool. I have something beautiful just like what I have right here. Beautiful, guys. Now I can go ahead and change the color I already wanted for this particular chart we have right here. So I'm now going to go to this particular fill color right here and go to solid, and from solid I have to change the color I want for it, and I'm going to be needing this particular kind of color. I think beautifully I have this color right for it. So when you hover over it, you can see more information about the dashboard or about the very visual you have hovered on, and this is what it is. So now this is what it is. So now like this one, now we can't find its name fully being shown to us because we have that visual to occupy the very small place, but we can still get it being shown. So as well, if I go and actually clear filter right on this right now, it's going to change every single time we have a new filter. It's going to respond to the filter, and the name is going to actually get updated and stuff like that. Is what it is, all that. So if you want to clear the filter away from here, you can click on clear, and you have the filter being cleared from one single button. So that is what it is. So the next thing what we're going to do right now is that we're going to actually have to fix this. So all you have to do is to stay until the end of the video, because in the second video we have not fixed this particular NA, which is not available. So because the reason why we have this right now is because we actually have cleared our filter, and we have to show a message every single time we have the filter being cleared. So now if you never encounter this right on the one you have downloaded, that was because I have it fixed. But right on this particular video right now, we need to fix it together. Stay tuned, stay along with me to have it fixed. Okay guys, now we have just gotten the percentage right on it. So here are the percentage we have right here. So our profit, our profitable customers, and our profitable cities, and this is the percentage it actually added right on our revenue and stuff like that. So right now we're going to be getting this one fixed. So all you just have to do is to actually click on the link beneath this very video right here to watch the second video or this fourth video. We're going to be having this one fixed, and as well create the one we have right here and create some actually the other aspects of this particular part right here. But right now you can see if we actually click on any other month, and as well on January right now, this is where we have the problem, because January cannot actually some kind of compare to any other month. There is no month before January we're having this particular issue. But if we go back to the finished one right in here, like this one right here, if we click on this particular month right now, it doesn't happen, but it gives us 0 right here and says comparing January to no value, because there is no value right on it to actually be in some kind of compare. So we will definitely fix all that and all of that. So we are just going to be dealing with this particular aspect right here. It's very dynamic. When I climb our filter, you see how much value do we have in right here, or how many months do we have in right here. It's very huge. Right now we try as much as we could to show the top day and all of that. So every single time we click on any filter, we have the top day to be changed based on the filter we have actually clicked on. So we won't make it some kind of very much interactive, just like what we have right here. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to go to the next level right now? Go ahead and actually smash the like button, leave a comment, and actually as well, if you have not been a subscriber on my YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe, because it's going to be getting more interesting with lots of video all day long. So now that is beautiful. Go to the playlist and start to watch the next one to get yourself acquainted with what it is that we are doing right here on this channel. Beautiful. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much. Stay blessed and stay out of trouble. Continue from the fourth video.